Whoo, Adam Sessler, the never gamer turned anti-gamer propagandist. There's perhaps no better, or in this case, worse example of someone who used to be into video games and the video game industry, but now who hates video games, hates gamers, and hates the video game industry. I'm Fox with RealMarcFoxx, and let's roll the intro.
You think I give a shit about you not liking me? Fuck off.
Adam Sessler rose to prominence and popularity as the host of the G4 TV show X-Play. G4, a now defunct channel, used to have a lot of entertainment and video game content. He was seemingly well liked, and I imagine a lot of young men were like me, and they kind of wanted to be like Adam Sessler. After all, this is an adult who is into video games and making it a career. If you were a young man or a teenage boy really into video games and you watched Adam Sessler on X-Play, you probably wanted to do that. He was notoriously let go back in 2012, and the circumstances of him being let go are quite questionable, and it looks like G4 were just total a-holes to him. Adam Sessler moved on to Rev 3 Games, also known as Revision 3 Games, I think, where he became editor-in-chief for a while, but only stayed for about 2 years. I continued to watch him there on Rev 3 Games. In fact, I was thrilled that he was back at it again, reviewing games and back in the gaming industry. So as I watched these videos of Adam Sessler doing his reviews, something hit me. Something didn't seem quite right. Something seemed off. Today's drink of choice is the same coffee I had a couple episodes back. It's this super focused blend of coffee. Whoa, wow, I feel focused. Not really, it's not that powerful. It actually is organic, yes. I usually only do organic. This one is focused with ashwagandha, ginkgo, lion's mane. It also has cinnamon, nutmeg, and the most powerful flavor in there, black pepper. This is not an advertisement or a spot, it's just what I happen to be drinking. So as I was saying, something seemed off about his reviews. I remember distinctly watching his review of The Last of Us, a game I had very little interest in, but thought perhaps after watching his review, I might actually get into it.
Playing the uncomfortably ambivalent character of Joel, whose monomaniacal need to fight onward fixates on Ellie, transforming him to a Don Quixote at the end of the world. The effect of the violence on the player, or at least myself, is something I haven't experienced in a game before. The dire, noxious tension that at times evokes Dark Souls.
His review of The Last of Us struck me as this sort of pretentious, lofty, abstract concept kind of essay that you might submit for a university project. I distinctly remember when my opinion of him took a sharp downward turn. It was at a convention, but I just saw this clip of him talking about haters or people in the gaming community that were expressing negative opinions or saying bad things, probably things they shouldn't be saying. And I remember what Adam Sessler said.
And don't even give me that First Amendment nonsense. You have every right to say it, and I have every right to call you a asshole and try to find your address and put it out there.
Yes, Adam Sessler was celebrating the concept of doxing people, and whoever was sitting there listening to him thought it was a pretty good idea too, because they all gave him thunderous applause. And that's when it hit me pretty hard. Adam Sessler is not a good guy. Now, I'm sure if he somehow happens to see this video, he ultimately won't care that much about my opinion. I'm a real small-time YouTuber, and if Adam Sessler were to come back into the gaming space, he would gain hundreds of thousands of subscribers, if not get into the millions. Maybe. It was the gamer/gate movement of 2014 that exposed the evil, radical left-wing ideology that had wormed its way into the gaming space. Many of the big names in the gaming space had begun siding with a cabal of unethical, far-left ideologues. I recall at this time that Kotaku became Craptaku, and their far-left extremists began writing hit pieces filled with vitriol against gamers and anyone who didn't share their radical far-left ideology. So Adam Sessler joined all the voices of those radical leftists attacking gamers and anyone who didn't share their opinions, going after them with vicious vitriol and hate-filled tweets and posts and comments. And of course, they gave them the nastiest possible labels they could think of. Nasty labels like a white something, and also referencing a certain German socialist party from World War II. He also jumped on the bandwagon of accusing any gamer who professed to care about ethical journalism as just secretly hating women and being a big, giant bigot. Of course, all these evil, bigoted gamers were almost always portrayed as being straight white men because that's the kind of people they like to hate. They ignored the plethora of non-white and female gamers in the space who were exposing this far-left, corrupt excuse for journalism. And then there's the notorious photo of him in this ultra cringeworthy shirt. And who can forget all the angry Twitter tirades Adam Sessler would go on, posting an endless stream of vitriol and hatred towards anyone who didn't agree with him or expressed any sort of affection or sympathy for anyone who goes by the term gamer. So let's take a brief look at just some of those tweets. I think chemical weapons dealers have a more tolerable consumer base than video games. I am truly embarrassed for this industry. That's right, you, just because you're a gamer and express opinions of video games, are worse than people who buy chemical weapons for use to delete people from the planet. And then there was the time he changed his Twitter username to Adam, quote, gamers are stupid, unquote, Sessler. Republicans are nartzos. They are a cancer. F them all. One of the worst things you can do to society is teach a gamer to believe in themselves. Well, actually, it would be teach a gamer to believe in himself or herself, because gamer is singular and themselves is plural. Anyway, one of the worst things you can do to society is teach a gamer to believe in himself. After the past few months, what kind of simple-minded, sheltered D-twiddle thinks I have any interest in them as an audience or any interest in games content anymore? Republicans have a small parabola. They only swing between white, national, and nartzoism. Just so I can get it out of my system once for the day, Republicans are stupid, R-word, and drink urine. After one Twitter user told Sessler to take a Twitter break because he was going on another one of his insane unhinged tirades, Adam had this response: I think you need to return to sucking yourself off, you officious goblin. And once again, bloviating on more political topics as he tended to do, Adam Sessler had this to say about his own family. Not for me. As I said yesterday, all the Republicans in my family can eat and die while I sip something bubbly. So Adam Sessler is so angry, so hate-filled, that he would sip champagne and watch as his family members literally were deleted off the face of the planet. Ah, gamers, how I don't miss you or give a Also, send me a postcard when you have to retreat into your mother's rancid for protection against reality. This whole attacking people's mothers thing would be a recurring theme for Sessler, such as, just ask your mom, I'm doing fine, and your mom's got a thick skin. Look, I was young in the 90s, I used the your mom jokes. They're just not that funny anymore, and generally speaking, you use the your mom jokes with people you knew. You used them affectionately, you didn't use them out of hatred and anger. Adam Sessler goes on in another tweet to say, I have a theory on this. It's because gamers are small-d'd, synaptically challenged social scabies. He's talking about you guys. RGT85 said to Adam Sessler in a tweet, you worked in the gaming industry for 20 plus years but didn't play games, so either you're a fraud or a liar. Which are we gonna pick here? Adam had said to someone else, just you and yours. Never was a gamer myself. Don't overthink this, bucko. So if Adam was never a gamer, is he using the term gamer in only the negative sense? Or is he, in this case, actually revealing the truth that he never really cared about video games and it was just an avenue for making money?
And that I refuse to believe.
Well, I wish I could tell you that that's the extent of the hatred, the vitriol, the vicious, horrible things that Adam Sessler has said online. But it's not. It's not even close. It goes on and on and on. I can make a 30, 40, 50-minute video of Adam Sessler making these posts, but yet, at the same time, he will also post on Twitter some personal things going on in his life and in his family's life. He will ask people for well wishes, and he will say things like, be kind to one another, be nice to each other. These are the people that drive around with the coexist stickers, the be kind stickers on the back of their car, but yet they can be some of the most vicious, hate-filled, vitriol-spewing people you will ever meet. And it is this precise dichotomy that makes me wonder if there isn't some element of mental instability here. What I believe happened to Adam Sessler is that he was a very reasonable person. He was a gamer. He loved video games, and he loved the video game industry despite its flaws. He pointed out the problems with it, and he criticized it like anyone does. But Adam Sessler was not particularly political, and he didn't express any political opinions back in the day, at least none that I'm aware of. However, as time went on, the radical left-wing ideologues began to worm their way into the gaming space, leftists, and they began to take control. It became very clear, if you want to continue to be a big name in the gaming world, you'd better get in line. You'd better become a far-left radical extremist like the rest of us. If you don't become a straight-up communist with the rest of us, and if you don't become an anti-white, well, you might just find yourself fading into obscurity. So these radical leftists began exerting extreme pressure on people. Anyone who was anyone in the gaming space realized that they had two options: stay quiet and give tacit approval, or two, join them and become a radical leftist himself. Adam fell into the latter. He chose to become one of the radical left-wing extremists, and he bought it hook, line, and sinker, and I think it did immeasurable damage to his mental health. You can see on Twitter, he goes into these vicious, horrific tirades. He expresses this extreme amount of anger at people who say very little to him. They just say, hey Adam, maybe you should take a break from Twitter. And he'll go off on them, talking about their mother, talking about their daughters. This isn't normal. This isn't okay. This is indicative of some serious mental health issues. Not surprisingly, this is not what his audience wanted. Even members of his audience who were on the left weren't looking for Adam Sessler to become a far-left radical. Nobody was looking for him to use his platform in the gaming space as a political soapbox. And I know that may seem strange coming from me, but I've explained my position before. We never originally wanted this to become a highly politicized space. They did it. We didn't do it. They did it. And I believe the correct response is to fight back with different, better politics. Politics that don't involve hatred. Politics that don't involve memorializing, enshrining mental health problems. Politics that don't involve confusing people about who and what they are. Politics that give people the freedom to be what they really are, not what they confusedly think they could be in their head. Politics that give people the freedom to enjoy the games they want to enjoy without being shamed for the color of their skin, their gender, and it's becoming abundantly clear. When the term gamer is now used, it has a negative connotation, and they want you to have one particular image in your head. This negative image will be of someone who looks similar to me. He will be white, he will be male, and he will be straight, hetero. They want you to think of the straight white male as the most evil force in the world, the most evil thing possible. They want you to hate him. They want you to hate everything he stands for. They want you to destroy anything that he enjoys or likes. That's why these far left radicals worm their way into every hobby where there is even a remote majority of straight white men. That includes comics, video games, tabletop RPGs, Magic the Gathering, anywhere where you find straight white men enjoy being, they want to move in there and destroy it. And for me, it was a really sad time to see Adam Sessler devolve into a political, radical ideologue and to use his platform not to express his love for gaming and critique of gaming in the gaming industry, but hatred for those who like games, hatred for gamers, hatred for games, and hatred for anyone who likes games and makes it one of their central hobbies. I promise you one thing, you will never see me doing that. I will never shame you for enjoying your hobby. I will never shame you for wanting to be a gamer. That's not what I do. That's what they do. So believe them when they say they are not gamers and they never were gamers. The only reason they are here in the gaming space is to spread their far left, radical, hate-filled ideology as far and wide as possible. And if you don't want to accept it, they would rather burn this hobby to the ground than see anything else happen. Because for them, games don't come first, or even possibly second or third. Their ideology is supreme above all else. Gaming is just a means for them to spread their radical, left-wing, hateful, vitriolic ideology. I don't support it. I hope you don't either. Because as a real gamer, I love video games. I don't love every video game, and I don't love everything about the video game industry. But as a whole, I love gaming, and I love games, and I hope you do too. Thank you so much for joining me. I noticed each and every one of you that watches my videos. I am still a small-time YouTuber, but I just started YouTube memberships for my channel. So if you go to my channel, you'll notice a join button. You can click there and become a real gamer for $1.99 a month or a super real gamer for $3.99 a month. So basically, $2 a month gets you in. You'll get shout outs as a member and you'll get early access to some of my videos. Can't guarantee all, but definitely some of them. So if you want to help support the channel in a big way, please do become a member. I also have a Patreon link in my description if you want to go that route. There's also a Buy Me Coffee link if you just want to make a one-time donation. I noticed every one of your comments. They mean so much to me. I read them all. Make sure to gently caress the like button, tap the subscribe button, tap the notification bell icon. You don't have to hit it. You can just tap it. And as always, my friends, for Fox's sake, stay fresh, cheese bags. Don't forget to grab your copy of New Tokyo, available on Amazon in Kindle, Kindle Unlimited, and paperback formats.
I have built my career on upsetting idiots. I now call them gamers because I'm not one anymore.